What do you think, Ethan, about the typical reformed to charismatic response that a lot of reformed people have, where they say that our modern day worship is too us focused? Because that's usually the critique that a lot of people have. They're like, it has to be about God, and like that we're singing, it's like my deliverance and my victory, and like, yeah, God's gonna do it, but it's about me. What do you think about like that perspective that reformed people have?
I think they're just. I think a lot of reformed people have that idea. I'm like, you guys, like, lame. Like, just as like friend to friend. Like, don't be lame. Don't be like boring and staunch. Like, don't be that guy. It's like it's the same vibes as someone who goes on vacation and is like, this costs so much money, or like goes to like an amusement park and complains about standing in line. It's like, just have a good time, just have fun. And it's like, there are worship songs that might be too me focused. That's fine. But the vast majority of charismatic worship is not that way. Just because every line's not about the sovereignty of God and predestination doesn't mean, and tulip doesn't mean it's wrong. Like, here I am in Psalms. Let's just pick any random Psalm, 44. Let's just start reading it to see, just a random Psalm to see if this talks about me focus or God's focus. Because a lot of the Psalms sound like it'll be quote unquote me focused. Oh God, we have heard with our ears, our fathers have told us what deeds you performed in the days of old. Okay, that's good. This is all about what God did. You pushed down your foes. That's good. You've rejected. Okay. But you have rejected us and disgraced us. You have not gone out with our armies. You have made us turn back from the foe. And those who hate us have gotten spoil. You have made us like the sheep in slaughter. You have scattered us among the nations. You have sold your people to the tribe. That's a lot of me focus in this psalm. Sons of Korah. It's like, it's like, okay, so you're just, if you want, and there's tons of psalms like that. All the psalms are like, God helps me. God did this for me. God, thank you for doing this for me. It's like, that's fine. Now there are, and I would also just say, like, because that's one of the videos that says it later. That's one of the complaints someone says later, but it's like, what song? Can you show me what songs exactly you're talking about?
Yeah.
Like, most of the songs in charismatic worship are very God focused.
Yeah. It seems to me like I understand where this critique is going, but I don't think personally you can ever divorce in worship the relationship between humans and God, because we're the ones that are singing praises to God. So when we sing about God's glory, his majesty, his sovereignty, all those things, it's in contrast to who we are. So the reason the glory, the sovereignty, the holiness, whatever it is that we're singing about, the majesty, is so good and is so like worthy to be sung about, is because it's in contrast to what we can offer, right? So we're always, even in that contrast, a part of the song, even when it's just about God, right? And so if we're singing about those songs, we're still in it. It's still about us and it's still about God. It's about both of those things. When we're singing about us in worship, God is always still in that contrast, right? I imagine a lot of charismatics more like to sing about, but a lot of charismatics love singing songs about how there's some kind of situation that they're in right now, and they'll usually be pretty descriptive when talking about it, where they need to see some kind of victory or deliverance or miracle, right? And they sing prophetically that they're because they know the Lord's going to deliver them from whatever situation that they're in that's evil, right? And we can get into the weeds of, is God always going to heal? Is he always going to do this? Is he always going to deliver you miraculously from a situation? Or is he going to be faithful, right? So we can get into all of that, but it seems like that's the kind of the perspective from a lot of charismatics. And I think that's good. I imagine that the children of Israel, when they are in captivity multiple times, they would sing songs prophetically to the Lord. They would know, Lord, I'm in this dark place. Just like Ethan was saying, read the Psalms. There are so many Psalms where David says he's in a terrible situation, but I still cast my trust upon the Lord. I still know he's going to deliver me, right? And so there's nothing unbiblical in my songs where you're like, this is the situation I'm in like I'm in Exodus, you know what I mean? And I know the Lord is going to deliver me, right? I know that I'm maybe going to reach the promised land, or I know that I'm going to be released from captivity. Like, I know that are going to happen, even though I don't see them right now. Like, I'm going to see a victory. That's who made that song? Elevation. It's an elevation song. So I kind of understand the critique, but I think it's so nitpicky. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're singing a song about me and the situation that I'm in, the reason you're singing it is because you know that God, who has all the power, is going to deliver you. And so the glory still goes to God, right? So the point of the song is not, I'm overcoming these things with my strength, or I'm overcoming these things with my good works, or something like that, or feel bad for me because I'm in a bad situation. Literally the point of all of those songs that people sing, that charismatic people sing, is because God is going to deliver them, or God is going to make a way, or God is going to do a miracle. It's still about God, right? The story is about you. And it's like, how divorced are you from God being in your actual life just because you don't believe in the gifts that God's going to move or God's going to do something, interact with you? How divorced are you from actually having an interactive relationship with God that you don't want to sing about God doing things in your actual life? You know what I mean? Like, there are so many topics you could pick to sing about in worship. Ones that you can all find in the Psalms and different songs in the Bible. You can sing about thankfulness. You can think about what God has done for you. You can, honestly, there are many, many hymns and even songs from the early church that talk about singing to other congregation members. Because Paul talks so often in the New Testament about doing things one to another, whether it's confessing sins or being thankful or talking about what God has done. He says, like, do these things one to another all over the place, over and over and over in his letters. Do these things one to another. And so a lot of the early church would sing songs to each other about what God has done, or about like the great community that they have, or the blessing they have in having other people around them that they can share, even in sorrows and suffering with. Wow. And so there are so many different topics, perspectives, songs that you can sing. Like Ethan was saying at the beginning, you don't just have to sing about sovereign God is all the time. Those are amazing songs, but there are so many topics. You can sing about confession. You can sing about wisdom. You can sing about charity. There's a really old song from like the 8th century, which is Christians singing about charity, their charity to other people. Like, there's so many topics that are praising God, that are talking about godly characteristics that you can sing in worship. Like, it doesn't just have to be one topic every single time.